I could not see how I could carry on, because every day we did not know if we're going or staying, and like, how long we were going to be on the boat for. We were running out of food. We ran out of water. It was paradise for me. I was just, I've never been to a place like that before. It was just amazing. If we went that coastal route, we would have won hands down, but because we didn't and we didn't have the money, it was just one of them unfortunate things, I guess. Being able to work with elephants was a priceless experience. 100%. Being that close with them, it were amazing. Knowing me, I got a bit too drunk. I missed my flight, and me and my dad were the last two people in Singapore.
Alex Speck-Zolte, great to have you on the podcast, mate. How you doing?
I'm alright, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, an absolute pleasure.
How are you? Are you good?
Yeah, man, I'm not too bad, Nearing the end of lockdown now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just seeing the end in sight.
Yeah, 100%.
So an absolute pleasure to have you on, because you are, of course, the first BAFTA winner we've had on the show. How did that feel?
You could say that, yeah. That feeling is still a bit crazy, thinking that we won a BAFTA. I can't believe it.
Absolutely class.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to win it with the competitors we had in our group and stuff, so it was a big surprise.
Yeah, remind us of who you had.
It were against Harry's Heroes, which is obviously an iconic show with legends, absolute legends. They were Gogglebox, and then there were RuPaul's Drag Race. So all really big shows, you know what I mean?
Awesome. So yeah, no shock to me though. I thought you were deserved winners, mate. So I'm very glad.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that.
So I want to start by asking the question which I ask everyone on the show, and that is, how important is travel to you?
Oh, well, before Race Across the World, I wasn't really that bothered about it. Now, that's all I think about. That's all I want to do is just get out of England and just, even in England, I just want to do stuff. I don't want to just be sat at home. I just want to constantly speak to new people and experience new adventures.
Yeah. And did lockdown make you realise that, or is it purely based off the show?
100%. Because I've only been to Sardinia, which were on my YouTube channel this year, since Race Across the World, and we got back in 2018, in December. So it was a while ago since I've been away properly and stuff.
What was the reason for not going away for so long after the show? It
was just like, I was trying to sort stuff out, and like I was signed with my agents, and we were looking for like to work on different TV, and I had like meetings with different production companies like every week or so. So I had to go like down to London and then up to Manchester and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, busy life, man. So I wanted to start talking about Race Across the World and start all the way back when you applied for the show and ask you what made you apply for the show.
So this is the story. I didn't actually apply for the show. My dad applied for the show, and he applied when it was when they were only applying for single people, when they wasn't doing duos. And it was just like an advertisement on Facebook. So I mean, he's applied for it, and they've rang him saying like, we're going to do duos. Is there anybody you'd like to take? And I was just like, well, I'll do it if you want me to. And then we never expected to actually get on the show, you know what I mean? Like, you watch TV, I've watched a lot of TV, and I just thought, I'm never going to actually get on TV, not from something like that. So it was a bizarre experience.
So am I right in saying that when he asked you to be on the show, you two weren't communicating that often?
Yeah, no, we weren't that close whatsoever. Not like we are now. Like, I used to see him maybe once a month or so, but we'd always used to argue and stuff. Like, we didn't have common grounds. He always treated me like a child and still acted like I were a child even though I'm an adult, you know what I mean? So we had a lot of communication problems.
Were you nervous then before you started going on the show? Obviously you were excited to potentially be on the show, but you must have been nervous about what that would be like, being with each other for 50 days.
No, definitely. Like, being told we're going to be with each other for 50 days constantly, I was just thinking, I don't know how this is going to work. And you know what I mean? Like, we just didn't speak. We hadn't spent longer than 2 days together for a long time. So it was a bit of a struggle, but yeah.
Yeah. And that application process, you mentioned that you didn't think you were going to be on the show. What was it actually like to go through?
So they give us a phone call, and they were just asking like our interests and stuff. And then we had to have somebody come up to Thornton where we live to interview us, to get like a background of like who we are and like what we're doing this for and whatnot. And then that went all smoothly. And then we had to go down to London for an audition, and we had to build a flat pack furniture in 20 minutes, which we did absolutely terribly in and it got smashed up at the end. And then we had to travel as far as we could from the Studio Lambert London office in London without any money. So like asking strangers for help and whatnot to get as far as we could. We asked a few taxis, but yeah, it didn't get that far.
What a challenge, though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm guessing it wasn't about how far we got. I'm guessing it was like our communication skills.
Yeah, exactly. Just a chance for them to see what you'd be like in that scenario.
Yeah, definitely.
So when did you find out you were successful and you were going to be on the show?
I was going to Leeds Festival. I was literally on my way to Leeds Festival and I got a call from Studio Lambert saying, you've been accepted to go on the show. You'll be going at the start of October. And yeah, I was just shocked. Couldn't believe it. And I was on my way to Leeds Fest, so I got to celebrate properly.
Yeah, nice. That's in August, isn't it? So you had a couple of months, right, to get your head around it.
Yeah, and it's literally the end of August, so we had September, and then we're pretty much set off.
Did you have to quit a job or anything to go on the show?
Well, I was working behind a bar at the time, so yeah, like I had to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to be leaving for 50 days, and when they were like, well, we won't be able to keep you on. So I was just like, all right, well, I'm not going to say no to it and stay here. You know what I mean? It was once in a lifetime opportunity.
You must have been absolutely buzzing then.
Yeah, the fact that I've been told I can go travel for free and go somewhere is, I was excited.
Yeah, so I want to move on to talk about some intricate details from the show now. And when I was going through the series to watch it through to get some reminders of what it was like for yourself, I saw that you took so many different modes of transport: train, coach, boat, ferry, taxi, tuk-tuk. What was your favourite one out of all of those?
Favourite one is probably, it's got to be the tuk-tuk in Thailand and China. It's got to be, like, what an experience that was. But the one thing that they didn't show you on the show is every leg, we had to use 5 different modes of transport.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's different rules which they never told anybody else about. But, like, we had to use 5 different modes of transport before we reached the checkpoint.
Wow. What kind of modes of transport did I miss off then? Were there any that they didn't include in the show?
We used, the one where you go like in a cart sort of thing, in a zip wire sort of thing, up a mountain. Yeah, something like that. We went on one of them and me and my dad petrified of heights. So that was a funny scene, I guess. But that didn't get shown. They were just a couple. They were a speedboat, but that got shown because that was when we were going to the 5th checkpoint. They were just all sorts. Yeah,
so if you hadn't done 4 modes of transport and you got on that final speedboat, like to go to that final checkpoint, what would they make you do? Just go rent a bike and go cycling for a bit?
Either something like that or a time penalty or something. I wasn't too sure, to be honest. Yeah. But they said that there would have been consequences if we did not do what they asked us to do. We also had to stay in one place for 2 days and stay in one place for 6 hours to sightsee.
Wow. Yeah, because I was going to come to that, but you did some amazing things throughout the race. Yeah. But was that through you wanting to do it? Because obviously when you're in that tunnel vision, you just want to win the race. Surely at times you must have just been like, I want to keep going. Did you stop because they made you, or did you stop because you wanted to?
It's the balance. It's the balance between finding, because you had to stay somewhere for 2 days and you had to stay somewhere for 6 hours. And then you have to find the balance of like traveling, enjoying yourself, but also racing, because we are in a race. That's why the second leg was the hardest for us all, because we were all racing and they were in an elimination round. So everyone was just thinking like, we don't want to get eliminated. Yeah. So we weren't really able to enjoy the race as much in that second leg compared to any other leg.
And you were quite close to going out on the second leg, weren't you? I remember. Was that in Baku?
Yeah, we came second last. We were very close. Imagine if we got eliminated.
When you were racing to that checkpoint in Baku, did you think you were going to go out?
Personally, I thought we were close to, I felt like, I wasn't too sure where Sinclair was, but I felt like we was a bit behind.
Yeah, and just going back to the transport, I definitely know the answer to this question, but what was the worst mode of transport you took?
Worst mode of transport? It's got to be just one of the buses, which
really?
For 30 hours. Yeah, it's got to be. When we were going through Georgia and we were travelling with Josh and Felix towards the second checkpoint, we were on a bus and the bus was just flying round a corner, but not caring, trying to overtaking cars and whatnot. We could have easily been in a big car crash or something.
I had it nailed on that you were going to say the boat in the Caspian Sea there.
It is. That's my worst experience. That's definitely the worst experience.
Yeah, what was that like? Because obviously you were stuck there for 5 days, pretty much in your little cabins. You must have just been at the lowest of the lows then.
Yeah, I personally was in a really bad place, and I had to speak to the psychological person, whatever they're called, psychotherapist, because I was really in a bad place, and I was ready to quit the show and just go home and like not carry on, because I could not see how I could carry on, because every day we did not know if we're going or staying, and like how long we were going to be on the boat for. We were running out of food, we ran out of water, and just everyone was just drained. And it was on the boat, there were us and like the people filming us, but apart from that, we were all like drunk Russian like boat truck drivers sort of thing. So it were a bit of it wasn't the best situation, atmosphere sort of thing. Like some of them were absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong, really nice people, but there were also some which would look at you a bit weirdly, and like, you know what I mean? It was just, I really did not enjoy it.
It's just a situation you'd never be in.
100%.
Other than being in that show, when would you ever go across the Caspian Sea in a massive ferry? It's just an absolutely crazy situation.
That's exactly it, 100%. And the ferry were just, the ferry were ridiculous. But it was thanks to Shamima, Natalie, Josh, Felix, Tony and Lane, and my dad, and the filming crew that actually kept me on, because they were just like, it's going to get better. They were telling me the sort of places which were coming up and stuff. And like, I just had in my mind that carry on going. And I'm glad I carried on going, because imagine if I missed out on the stuff I did.
Oh, exactly. No, it's good to hear as well for you to speak so openly about that battle that you had, like mentally, for people listening. Because obviously when you see the show, that scene on the Caspian Sea, whilst it was 5 days for you, it would have been 5 minutes for us watching. So it's nice for you to open up. Yeah,
it didn't really show much whatsoever. And people were asking me like what we're up to and stuff like this. But I was trying to stay away from the cameras as much as possible on the Caspian Sea, because I just had enough. I were really done and proper in a down place. But I made it out. And we were all good. We won that leg, so it were even better. Yeah.
Picked yourself right up. And you mentioned the fact that the other contestants really helped you in your lowest moments there. Yeah. Who are your best friends, would you say, through the experience?
Probably Shamima and Natalie. Like I spent the most time with them personally, like on a checkpoint. Like I'd be up with them, just having a chat and whatnot. And I got really close with them too. And Josh and Felix as well, don't get me wrong, like they're boys, you know what I mean? They were close to 10 years older than me, you know what I mean? Because I was the youngest by 10 years. It was felt a bit weird for me, because I had nobody like my age sort of thing. And it was like, but it was all right. Like people bonded with me. They didn't just leave me out sort of thing. So I enjoyed it. It was all good. And like, they're all like family to us now. So yeah.
That's good to hear. And when you started the race, you sounded a bit similar to how I would be if I was on the show. You were just so focused on winning. You wanted to get that competitive element, and you would want to win. Did that change at all during the race?
Nah, it did change in the race. Like when we came second, in the fifth checkpoint, that was the point where we had $150, $120. And we were just like, to get from Cambodia to Singapore, I don't know if it's going to be possible. So I was just saying to my dad, like, we just need to make sure we make it at the end. Like my dad wanted to, my dad was struggling at this point because he had sunstroke and whatnot, and he had to carry his big bag, and we had to go traveling, even though he really badly sunstroke. So that was tough for him, and he wanted to quit and just stop and just, he were happy he did China and Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, because that was his dream, to go all these places. As soon as he did that, he wanted to give up and just be like, I've done what I've wanted to do, so let's just go home now. Where I was just saying, we've come all this way, we've got to make it to Singapore.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask about those checkpoints, because you touched on them there. They must have been heaven. But we didn't really see much of them in Series 1. I kind of feel like it was very heavily focused on the race and the actual legs themselves. So can you give us some insight into what they were like?
I completely agree. The checkpoints was amazing. They were my favourite parts of the race, because we get to a checkpoint at whatever time, day or night, and then you'd either be there for like 32 hours, 48 hours, depending how long the camera crew needed to recover and like charge batteries and whatnot. So we'd be given a budget, so it'd be a nice amount of money,
Yeah.
And we'd be able to like buy whatever food we want, buy whatever drinks we want, and just
Nice.
enjoy ourselves while we're there. Like have a shower, have a sleep. We'd have to do like an hour's filming, like while we're doing there, just some like rest and recovery sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything major either. Like in Baku, we did a cycle ride on the front sort of thing. So it were really cool ideas what we did during these things. But yeah, we just got to enjoy ourselves and chill out for a bit, and like forget about the race for like 2 days or so. And
sounds awesome.
That was the best thing for me. I got drunk, I won't lie. I enjoyed myself.
Exactly what I'd be doing as well.
You know what I mean? I'm at a young age, I'm enjoying myself. I'm at a hotel, why not?
Yeah, exactly. You described the best checkpoint as Koh Rong in Cambodia.
Yes.
And you said you were going to go back. Have you made plans to go back yet?
Not yet, but I am definitely looking at going back. The Sok Sam Resort, 100%. It was paradise for me. I would just, I've never been to a place like that before. And it was just amazing. Just being on a little island and just, everything just being perfect. It just being so calm, so warm. Yeah. That's one place high on my list to visit. Yeah.
What did you get up to when you were in Koh Rong?
Well, we were just on the beach for pretty much because we were only there for a day and a half in Koh Rong, unfortunately. But we had like, me and my dad, we went canoeing sort of thing, kayaking in the sea, while the big boat were following us about in a big drone. So
really?
That's when we were getting that shot sort of thing. So that were cool. And then on a night time, when Shamim and Natalie, Josh and Felix came in, we had like a big family dinner on the beach sort of thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool.
How did you deal with that aspect of it? Obviously, you're just two normal guys, and then you've got a film crew following you. You've got drones flying in the sky. You were like stars of the show. How did you feel? How did you adjust to that life?
That was crazy. Like because when we're traveling during the week sort of thing, there's only 2 people with us. So that's that's camera and sound person. That's Brent and Lorraine, which were with us the whole time. And they slept where we slept. They ate what we ate.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So they actually like went hardcore sort of thing with us. But I mean, like when you'd get to a checkpoint, you'd have about 10, 20 people with the big cameras and the big drones. And you have to do all these shots. And that's where you feel like, wow, what's going on? I feel like a movie star sort of thing. It was crazy, especially in Singapore when there's loads of people just looking at you and big camera following you about and big drone and stuff.
Amazing.
It's really cool.
And credit to the crew who followed you as well, because to do that trip sounds hard enough for you and your dad, but to do it whilst charging up camera gear and like making sure they get the right shots and stuff, that must be so tough.
100%. Brent and Lorraine must have worked about 20 hours a day at least. They deserve so much credit for it, 100%. And Brent did season 2 as well.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he was with Sam and Joe on season 2, so that was quite cool.
He wasn't too scarred then after doing series 1?
No, apparently not. Apparently not. I'm surprised he did it, but I'm happy for him. He did some amazing shots on season 2.
Brilliant. You must be really close to them now, surely.
Yeah, 100%. Like we're in a WhatsApp group, so we have a chat whenever we need to. You know what I mean?
And you mentioned the fact that there were elements of the show which perhaps we didn't even get an insight into or didn't get included in the edit entirely. How accurate was the edit to the reality?
Well, thinking 6 episodes got shown, an hour long from 5-6 teams. There were nothing which got shown really to what actually happened sort of thing. Yeah. Like there was so much which has not been shown. So much. Which I personally love to see like an unseen sort of thing at the moment. While there's nothing on TV at the moment because there's a lockdown and whatnot, people are struggling. There's not a race across the world at the moment because it's not possible to be done. So I think they should be looking at like trying to do some unseen footage from season 1 and 2 possibly. Because I think a lot of people would like to see it, not just myself. Absolutely. And you didn't get to do a final show as well, because after series 2, they did 8 episodes in series 2. And then they did that final episode where they all met up and kind of relived the moments. So there's some more content. If BBC are listening, get that done. That's it. 100%. I'm here. I'm available whenever you need me. Nice. And on that note, if they came and asked you, okay, we're going to do almost like a recreation, get some people from series 2, get some people from series 1, would you be up for doing that again? 100%. I'd go right now. I'd pack my bag right now and I'd go right now. Yeah, 100%.
I reckon that's an idea for the future as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I wanted to go all the way to the end now and talk about that dramatic sprint to the finish, because for us watching it, obviously we had no idea who was going to win, and they played it out in such an incredibly enticing way.
Definitely.
How close was it in the end? Was it a couple of hours?
It's 2 hours.
Did you think you were going to win?
Personally, I wasn't sure. I felt like, because we met up with them in that crabby town bus shelter thing, and we met up with all of them, and Tony and Elaine lied to me, sort of thing, and I were annoyed about So I was just thinking, I just want to make it there now. I was just getting stressed out. I was just tired, and we just had to do loads of running, and I was just like, let's just make it to the finish line and just see what happens. My dad was the worst one out of us two, because he kicked up such a fuss, and it wasn't polite what he were doing and stuff. So they had to reshoot the final scene of us opening the book about 2-3 times because he'd kick off. Yeah,
because I remember you were so graceful with the feet. I remember watching it going, oh, what a nice young lad. He's just come all this way. Obviously, you wanted to win 20 grand. We all did. We all were in that situation. But you were just like, oh, what an amazing experience. So glad I've taken it all. And next to you is your dad with a face, this miserable face. Was he just gutted?
Yeah, he was so annoyed. It wasn't even for the money for him either. It's just he loves winning. And he wanted to be the underdog throughout the whole thing. He didn't want to win one checkpoint. He didn't want to win anything. He just wanted to be the whole underdog. And when that didn't happen for him, and when we won the Uzbekistan checkpoint and then the Chinese one, when we were over 24 hours in front, he was like, oh no, I don't like this and stuff. So yeah, it didn't really work out like that.
I remember you guys having a conversation where you were like, oh, I want to win this leg. I want to win every leg. And he was like, no, I want to come in second. I want to come in second. And being like, where's the logic in that?
No, 100%. He always wanted to be the underdogs. And I said, no, I want to win every single checkpoint. I want to, I want to show we're here to win.
Do you think there was a moment where you lost the race?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah. Believe that. I believe that it was the money calculation, in some places, and China was a lot more expensive than we ever thought it would be. And we spent a lot of money in China, which we didn't want to do. And then when we were in that 5th checkpoint, and Tony and Elaine went up the coast, and 2 people could have gone up the coast, and 2 people had to go back up to Phnom Penh.
Oh, really? They made you take that route?
Yeah. So you got given them 2 choices, but we did not have the money for the coastal route because it's a lot limited and it would have been a lot more expensive, where that's the route Tony and Elaine went. And then we had to work in Bangkok and stuff like this. So that slowed our time down a bit. I believe that if we went that coastal route, we would have won hands down. But because we didn't, and we didn't have the money, it was just one of them unfortunate things, I guess.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about work and gaining money throughout the race. Did you look forward to doing the work?
Some places I did, some places I didn't. So there were a really cool job which didn't get shown in the first episode.
Yeah.
And we worked in a brewery called Hop Top Brewery in Budapest.
Yeah.
And that was just a really cool job. We learned how to make lager and stuff, and we got to try it. I'm a big lager drinker, so I like that. It was a cool experience for me. And then obviously there were some jobs which I didn't enjoy as much, like the Turkish art gallery.
He was bossing you around, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I might have flipped out a bit at him, but it didn't get shown that we were there for 6 hours and I were asking for a drink and he would not give me a drink.
No, I was on your side there.
It was, I was just gasping for a drink, and he just turned a bit weird. But I mean, obviously there were some jobs which are a priceless experience, in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, a paper factory, learning how to make paper from the start, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then a lemonade stand in Vietnam.
Yeah.
A dog kennel in Bangkok, everything. Then the elephant sanctuary in Cambodia, wow. You know what I mean? I got to work with elephants, so the jobs, amazing.
And you've mentioned the money earlier, but how vital was the money that you earned from the jobs to the race?
Very, very important. We had to work every leg, otherwise we would have run out probably in the 5th checkpoint. So everybody had to work, I think, because they would just want enough money to reached Singapore without working. It got great knowledge as well, because you'd be able to speak to the locals and you'll be able to work out your next route and like how you get to the next place from there. So it was helpful, if anything.
And with the work, obviously, if you do work in Germany, you're going to earn a hell of a lot more money than if you work in Vietnam. I remember watching Felix and Josh in the first episode, or maybe the second, but they did that work on the farm and they earned 250 quid.
Yeah,
I thought, oh my God, they're just going to walk it now. Did you have any regrets that you worked in certain locations where you should have gone, okay, we should have worked a bit earlier?
Yeah, definitely. It was the one where it was a pepper factory or whatnot, and I was complaining I didn't want to do it. But I think that was the first job. That was before we did the brewery one. And that was like in Budapest sort of thing. The first week I didn't really know what I signed up for. It were all new to me. I was shocked. I was crying. Yeah, like everything was just new to me. So like adapting to trying to learn from my mistakes sort of thing. It got better.
And then you touched on all the amazing jobs you did. So the Chengdu flower market, you described at the time as the best work so far. But then you went on to do the elephant sanctuary in Cambodia. If you had to pick a favourite job, which would you choose? Oh,
it's got to be the elephant elephant sanctuary. Like, to work with elephants, what a priceless experience. Yeah, 100%. Being that close with them, it were amazing.
Take us through what you actually did then in that job.
So we'd got there at like 10 o'clock at night. We had an early night and whatnot. But there were loads of like volunteers sort of thing there as well. So like we'd go there for breakfast and there'd be like 20, 30 people there just like eating breakfast and whatnot. And like they'd be doing their own thing, where we'd have our own thing to do. We had to chop up trees sort of thing to feed the elephants. We had to chop up the coconuts and whatnot. And then we had to watch them get washed up and stuff like that. We didn't actually get paid for the elephant sanctuary.
Oh, really?
It was just like free accommodation in the jungle sort of thing. But, well, yeah, it probably cost us more to do than not, you know what I mean? Like we would have been better not doing it, but it was just the experience. Like we could not pass that up.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you something, which obviously whenever you do an interview, I bet you get asked this and you must hate it. But the girl you met in Chengdu flower market, I'm going to bring it up. Do you still keep in contact now?
Well, I can be in contact if I wanted to be. Like, she has Instagram. I don't know how she's got Instagram, because she shouldn't be allowed Instagram in China and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she has Instagram and she gives me a message here and there. So, yeah, obviously, I'm not rude. I'll respond.
Yeah.
And check how things are and whatnot. But I haven't seen her since or anything, since she lives in China. A lot of people think I keep on meeting up with her and stuff and go to China on a weekend or what and come back home. It's like, no, I'm sorry, but China's a long way away, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe when you go back to Koh Rong in Cambodia, you can meet up then.
Yeah, maybe. I'd love to go back to China, 100%. It was an amazing place.
Is that the place that you'd want, other than Koh Rong, is that the place that you'd want to go back to most?
No, Vietnam and then China. Vietnam, the people looked after us a lot. Like, we just felt so welcomed. Like, everywhere we'd go, we'd be offered free food. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was just so nice. I've never experienced people being that nice in the world before.
Yeah.
Compared to what Vietnam people were like they were amazing. Yeah,
because that job you did in Vietnam, the sugarcane stall, and then after the work, you sat down and had a meal with a family, and yeah, that must have been awesome.
It wasn't even that though. Like, we left the day after because they even let us work an extra day sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like in the morning, and then they dropped us off at the bus stop. But they woke up early and they actually made us food to take with us. So we wouldn't be hungry on the journey, sort of thing. So they actually like fed us sort of thing and then give us food to take with us, so we wouldn't have to pay for it. Like, yeah, them people was amazing.
Amazing.
And I loved the job. Like, the job was so cool. Learning how to make sugarcane juice, like, a cool job.
And you were giving your dad some stick because you were doing all the hard work while he was sat down on his bum. What were you actually doing in that job then?
Well, we had the sugarcane like wood sort of thing, and we had to like strip it, and then once you stripped it, you'd have to chop it a bit, and then you just put it in a machine, and then the machine would do its work. Yeah, it were easy really, but because we were English, it brought a lot of the community together, and they were just like, oh, I got to go see these English people making a sugarcane juice. It's a rare thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we made a lot of money from it and stuff. Probably one of our best paying jobs.
Nice, because they weren't charging much for the sugarcane juice, and I thought, they
not
surely pay you that much.
Like 2 Vietnamese things. So, yeah, we got it really, really cheap. But we made a lot of money because there were so many people coming.
And obviously you mentioned that those people were so nice. Does it make you realise that perhaps us English people, when we're sat down on the tube or on the train and we've got our heads glued in our phones and we won't speak to each other, does it make you think and wish that we were a bit more friendly?
Definitely. 100%. I believe that. Yeah, we would not have made it if it weren't for the kindness of strangers. I personally, I will always help out if anybody ever needs anything, or like if I'm on the train and whatnot and somebody's asking for any directions or any help, and I'd happily help them out. Where personally I've asked for help in England before and I haven't been given any help.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like people think that they're too busy, sort of thing, when it only takes like 2 seconds out of your day to help somebody. Yeah,
exactly. And everyone's always a bit suspicious as well.
Yeah, definitely. People don't really trust people and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird place, is England. But
exactly.
It's England.
Even weirder now.
Yeah, even weirder, I know.
So I wanted to move on to some of the behind the scenes elements from the show. You touched on it, stuff that perhaps we as the viewers didn't get an insight into. How did you find it being filmed all the time in your best and worst moments?
At first, it were a bit tough. Like in the first week, like my mum told me, like, please don't swear and stuff like it's like try be like good on camera. So I was doing that for the first 3-4 days, and when Brent pulled me over, and Brent were like, "You're not being yourself."
Okay.
Like the cameras can tell you're not being yourself because you're trying to like hold back and like be reserved, and they didn't want that. So after Brent said that, then obviously I was just like, all right, I'll be myself, because we're going to be there for like 50 days or whatnot. You get used to it though. So like, it might sound a bit weird, but I've been asleep on train. Brent's there with camera in my face while I'm sleeping, and I wake up and I've just got a big lens in my face. But it's just, you just get used to it, I guess. It's all right. Like you just have a mic on, and it becomes normal.
And you mentioned the fact that you perhaps weren't being yourself. You can't keep that up for 50 days. So surely at some point you would have cracked anyway.
Yeah, Brent told me everybody would have seen on TV that you weren't being yourself. And that was the biggest thing I wanted to do, is be myself, because I think that's all you can do is be yourself. And it's the best thing to do. Yeah,
so you mentioned you had Brent and Lorraine following you throughout the race. Did they stop you at all from getting any sort of transport because there were only 2 seats on a train or a bus, for example?
We had that problem once in China. But it was a minor, like I think the train was like 10 minutes later after that. So it didn't mean anything. Where it could have done, it definitely could have done, because we needed to, like on camera, you need to make sure like you got 2 seats for me and my dad. But and then like as soon as the cameras turn off, then you're like, all right, we need another 2 seats for Brent and Lorraine, sort of thing.
Yeah, true.
But and then there was also behind us, always tracking us, there'd be like a side vehicle sort of thing where they'd have like backup batteries, cameras and crew. So there were 2 people there always like traveling behind us in a van. We never really seen them, but like, if there were a problem, one of like Brent and Lorraine could have gone in that van, and one of them could have gone on the train or bus or whatnot with us.
Yeah, they would have been flipping coins to see who got the short straw.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
And obviously you were away for 50 days and you didn't have your mobile phone. How hard was it to not speak to your family and friends? I
struggled a bit. I won't lie. In Baku, second checkpoint, after not getting eliminated, I actually did ring my mum, and they made me film it and stuff, just so it'd be filmed and there'd be proof and whatnot. That didn't get aired, which I was a bit surprised. I thought they would have aired it, but it's all good. I would just wanted to check up how things were up at home, because obviously I live with my mum, and then it's just me and my mum's the only like family on my mum's side in England. The rest of them are in Australia and Latvia.
Okay.
So I needed to check up and make sure everything was right, because I didn't have a phone to make sure myself. So I just wanted to ring up and make sure myself. So yeah, but as long as I got to do that twice throughout the whole journey. So I did that in Baku, and then I did it in China. So that helped my situation a lot, because I was a bit bit worried, but yeah, everything were all good.
Yeah, nice. And you mentioned the fact that it was October to December, was it, in 2018?
Yes.
And then when did the show air? I can't actually remember exactly.
March 2019.
Yeah, so you've got this secret on your shoulders for 3 months.
Yeah.
What was it like to keep that a secret from everyone?
All my mates kept on asking, like, did you win? What happened? Because I wasn't allowed to say anything. Like, they've known that I've gone away for 50 days, but I'm not allowed to say, like, the result and whatnot. So I just told them, I lost. I came last.
Yeah.
Like, just watch it when it comes on. I came last. I came fourth. Yeah. And then, they were surprised when I came second and nearly won it. They were all shocked.
You obviously didn't have your mobile phone for 50 days. Like, I know that if I was ever on the show, 50 days without my mobile phone would be an absolute struggle. What was that like for you? Well,
it just felt normal. Obviously, we just didn't have it. But I had an MP3 player, which helped a lot. We weren't allowed any Bluetooth or any internet or anything. So that was one thing you did not allow on your MP3 player. I had music on my MP3 player. I downloaded like over 1,000 songs at least.
Yeah, what was what kind of tunes were you listening to?
No, I listen to English rap, American rap sort of thing. That's my music. So that kept me sane, I'd say, like on these 30-hour bus journeys or whatnot, coach journeys. And listening to my music kept me sane and like motivated to just be like, everything's good. I've got my music. I'm carrying on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't get so bored. So we're all right.
And nowadays, are you better at just putting your phone down and experiencing a moment because of it?
I don't know really. Like when I went to Sardinia this year, I wanted to film everything because I was making my YouTube. And at home, I am on my phone a lot because I'm glued to my phone. I don't know. I'll say if I were doing a journey like that again, I'd like to document everything. Like that. All my biggest regret is not taking a camera without no internet and whatnot. Yeah. Because I would have been able to capture the unseen things and stuff and like behind the scenes. And I could have put that on YouTube and whatnot. And I felt like that could have been successful. Yeah. So that were a biggest regret, which I didn't take. But apart from that, everything was good.
Nice, man. And you really grew as a person throughout the show. So when you started, your dad was properly harsh on you. I remember watching it thinking, geez, Darron, he's giving you some serious stick. And then you really grew and you gained confidence. You grew more patient. And near the end of the race, you kind of switched. Your role switched and you were the one caring for your dad.
Yeah.
Could you feel yourself learning from the experience as it was going on?
Yeah, 100%. Like the whole journey, the whole experience taught me so much. I was just more confident in myself. Like I'd always speak to random people, but I don't know, I wouldn't really approach random people. So like the journey helped me do that. My bond with my dad, like, we got to speak on a personal level sort of thing. And now he's like a good friend of mine as well as my dad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The journey helped me out so much. And it's just confidence and just being able to get myself out there. And then even coming back and doing live TV on the One Show and BBC Breakfast Show, I'm confident to do any more TV now because it's like, I've done live TV and I could have messed up massively. It can't get much worse than that, you know what I mean? Like when you're on live TV and you're on the radio, you could say something bad and you could be condemned throughout the whole of England, being number one hated, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you see it happen, you see people mess up by accident, get hated. So luckily nothing like that happened. And it's just once I've done that, I can do anything now really.
Yeah. And the aim of the trip, of course, was for you to mend that relationship and build that bond with your dad. What was it like going through it all with your dad in the highest and the lowest moments?
So obviously we had a lot of arguments and stuff like because we didn't really know each other personally. So it was tough. It was very tough at times. Like some things it said wind me up a lot. Like every time he said "suck it up," his favourite catchphrase would really, really annoy me. But I don't know, like I do the same way. I annoy him, so it works like that. If you're with somebody for a long amount of period of time, you're going to have an argument or whatnot. It's always going to happen.
You couldn't ever do 50 days and not have an argument with someone.
No, that's it. I bet Tony Lane, Josh and Felix did.
Yeah, you saw Josh and Felix.
Yeah, they would have all done it. So it's what happens.
And you got your hug at the end.
Yeah.
Was that a big motivation for you?
I was waiting for it throughout the whole journey. I would try and hint at him a few times during the journey, like, come on, I could do a hug right now. And he was just like, no, No worries. Yeah, I got it at the end.
Your dad said that you went from an estranged father and son to now friends. You must be so much closer now as a result of it.
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah, I see him at least once a week now and speak to him on the phone twice a week or so. So, yeah, me and my dad are really, really good since.
Nice, man. That's really nice to hear. You mentioned on the show that you were perhaps a little bit confused about what you wanted to do with your life. And I thought that was a really important message to air, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are watching the show who are in the same kind of position.
Yeah.
You're just a bit unsure what kind of job you want to do, where you want to go with your life. Did the work that you did during the race help you find that out and teach you any life lessons?
It's learned what I actually want to do in myself now. Like, I want to, obviously I want to travel for a career. That's the ultimate dream. But I know now within myself that I want, like, in the meantime, I'd want like a customer service sort of thing, because I'm hands-on and I like interacting with people. I'm a people person. So I don't want to just like go in a call center. Like, when I came back, I were in a call center at my dad's work, and it just wasn't me. Like, working in a warehouse is the same. Like, it's just not me. I'm a people person, so I'd either retail or back on TV sort of work sort of thing, and maybe working behind the camera, and just having a look at them sort of avenues. But since the TV show, I definitely want to work in the media industry.
Nice, man. And how important do you think travel is to help you work out what you want to do and help you grow as a person?
I think travel is a number one big thing to like clear your head sort of thing. Like, if you're stuck in a run and you're literally just stuck, you don't know where to get out, then if you go away for like a couple of days, you'll feel much better within yourself. So I feel like it's very important for people to do that. I feel like a lot of people think as in traveling and like it's really expensive sort of thing. Like, they're thinking holiday and like, you know what I mean? People think like you can only do it once a year sort of thing. But as you can see, before coronavirus, flights, you can get flights for really cheap for a weekend sort of thing. Like, you can go to Prague for like £3.99. You know what I mean? Like, you see these stupid prices, and people make out like it's a really, really expensive thing to do, but it's actually not that expensive. And that's why in the new year, depending on Brexit and depending on like lockdown, coronavirus, I'm looking at trying to get about in Europe as much as possible at the moment. And like a number one place for me to visit would be Sweden, because I've heard that they haven't been in lockdown throughout the whole thing. Wow. And the whole year they've had no face masks, no lockdown. So I'd actually like to interact with the people who've lived in Sweden throughout this year and ask them how their experience has been during this year.
Brilliant. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Imagine being a country which has never been in lockdown, never wore a face mask. Like, that's crazy.
Absolute dream. This is a bit of a weird question, but I've genuinely watched the show and thought, you know what, I'd love to do that so much that I might just genuinely do that, live on the budget and travel London to Singapore. Yeah. Would you recommend it?
I recommend it 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I did an article for BBC Sport, London to Baku for the Chelsea.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So yeah, I highly recommend doing it, getting out and just, the amount you fly over and you miss is ridiculous. Like, I've been to Australia a few times because I've got a lot of family over there. So obviously what I've flown over, I've now actually done on land sort of thing. Yeah. So it's like, you compare them both and you're just like, if you've got time, you've got whatever, you can do it, then definitely do it. Highly recommendable.
Brilliant, mate. And we've mentioned it a few times, but I wanted to talk now about your YouTube channel. So you've uploaded a video, a vlog from your trip to Sardinia with your dad. Yeah. Really enjoyed it, mate.
Thank you.
What made you want to start your YouTube channel?
Because I'm signed with my agents and it's all about waiting for something to happen. I was bored of waiting, if I'm honest. And I felt like I want to try and market and progress my career sort of thing. And I know it's with traveling, because traveling is what I'm known for now. People know me as traveling. So I wanted to stick around that thing and I wanted to involve my dad sort of thing. But I just wanted to make videos which are memories sort of thing, and I can look back and I can just think, that's a great memory. Because I watch a lot of YouTube myself. I watch a lot of silly videos and whatnot. So I was just thinking like, I want to do something. I want to try this. So why not? I've got nothing to lose.
And we've seen that one video, but what kind of videos can we expect on your YouTube channel in the future?
Tonight, I'm going to film a blind food tasting test with my dad.
Oh, nice.
So ordered some food online. I don't know what he's ordered. He won't tell me. He's going to put a blindfold over my head, and I'm going to eat some weird things. I don't know what to expect, but yeah, that's going to be a good one, I reckon. And yeah, I'm hoping to do like a vlog of where I'm from. It's like show my little village off, Thornton, and just show people like where I've grown up, sort of thing. And then in the new year, depending on Brexit, going travelling and doing like a little vlog of travelling by myself for the first ever time.
Amazing. Look forward to it, mate.
Definitely, thank you.
So I wanted to get a bit more in depth with the cities, countries, foods that you experienced throughout the race. Which was your favourite country and city from the race?
City-wise, it's got to be Chengdu. Like, it was next level technology. Like, the people, it just being in China, it just felt like you were in China, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like anywhere else in the world I've ever been to. Yeah, just the big bright lights, just everything. Like, and the food was, now, I'm surprised I didn't show it, but me and my dad had probably the hottest meal we've ever had in our lives. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, because Chengdu is known for the spice, and we've gone to this hot pot place, and I've literally been in tears eating this chili, and so's my dad, and we've been on the train the day after, and we've been suffering, and yeah, it was an experience, spicy to say the least.
And Chengdu, was that a massive culture shock when you arrived there?
At first, yeah, but like I've always because I live in a small little village, there's not really much to do. So like when I go to a city like London, Manchester, I love cities, and it's what I'd been waiting for throughout the whole journey, is actually go to like a major city and like experience it. So which we didn't really do, because we were always either on the move or we felt like we were in the sticks a lot. So it was really cool to just get in a full city and just experience that. But they didn't show that me and my dad got a single bed for like 99 yank, and we had to top and tail, but it was like this 5-star hotel.
Oh really?
Yeah. So that was a cool experience. We got to stay in a 5-star hotel, but we were top and tailing in a single bed, which won the best.
And Chengdu is your favourite city, but is your favourite country China, or is it somewhere else?
Favourite country China or Vietnam, definitely. Yeah, it was just something different. And Thailand as well, but I didn't really get to experience Thailand. Yeah. Before I set off from the journey, I always said that I've always wanted to visit Thailand because the beautiful little the little islands, just the way it looks. But obviously we rushed through it in like 2 days, so I didn't really get to experience it.
Literally just focused on trying to get to that finish line at that point.
Yeah, that's it. It was the last leg, so it was all rushed. And I definitely want to go to Thailand and experience it properly.
And Chengdu's perhaps a bit more pricey in terms of like Asian currencies. Is there a city which you would recommend if someone could go there on a budget?
On a budget, I recommend Uzbekistan.
Yeah?
It were a really cool place. Like, the people were cool, the architecture were cool. Everything was just cool about it. It wasn't expensive, I wouldn't say so. Samarkand, legendary place. My dad was in awe all the time, like, because he's read this book, Journey to Samarkand, since he were a little kid. So it's literally always been his dream to visit this place. So like you could tell his emotions and his feelings that he was in a maze that he was at this place, and it was really cool for me to experience it with him.
Amazing, because Uzbekistan's a place that obviously isn't on traditional backpacking trips. It isn't on an itinerary where people would usually go. So you'd recommend people explore Central Asia and go to Uzbekistan?
Yes, definitely. That's what I mean. Like, people don't really know about Uzbekistan. People don't really know about Kazakhstan. People think of Kazakhstan as Borat, if I'm right. You know what I mean? Obviously, Borat, amazing film and whatnot, but it's not known as Borat, you know what I mean? Like, they show it on the film, but it's not as it is on the film. Like, it's a beautiful place. I recommend going.
Amazing. And this is a bit of a random one, but if you could live in any city that you experienced from the race, which would you choose?
To live in any city from the race? Bangkok.
Yeah?
Yeah, it seemed like a really cool place. I reckon I could have enjoyed myself there. Yeah. Personally, I'll be honest, I I'm looking again at Bradford as much as possible.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have much family over here. My dad's side of family are, but I'm not really that close to him. All my family are in Australia and Latvia, so I think on my mum's side. So it's just Bradford's always been a place for me. It's just like, it's Bradford. Like, obviously, I love where I'm from and I've grown up here, but it's the way, it's England, it's the weather. It's just not me. I'm more of a warm weather sort of person, and just like a beach sort of guy. So being in England, it don't go, if I'm honest.
Yeah. So have you got your sights set on moving abroad then?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be in Australia in the next 10 years or somewhere. I'm not going to be in England. I just can't see it. I don't want to spend all my life in England.
Brave decision, but I think it'll be good.
Yes, 100%.
So I wanted to talk about the food a bit more in depth. You mentioned that really spicy meal, but I imagine that wasn't your favourite meal from the entire race. But I wanted to pick out, when you arrived in China and no one else was there and you went to go check on the book and you were like, oh, they've still not arrived. You had this absolute mountain of food. It looked like some sort of like pad thai or something. Was that your best meal?
Yeah, it must have been. Like, they were the best tasting sort of thing. Like, it was proper like egg fried rice, sort of proper Chinese food. My dad didn't actually like any of it.
Oh, really?
That's why there was so much of it, and I had to eat it all to myself pretty much. And I was just like, I'm hungry, don't get me wrong, I ain't really eaten all week, but it's a bit too much sort of thing. And my dad were eating his tofu and whatnot. And but that food was, it felt like it was cooked by five-star chef sort of thing. Yeah, just amazing. And the view was incredible.
And that was in the morning, wasn't it? So that would have been your breakfast, am I right?
Yeah, Wang Yao. It was more brunch.
Yeah.
It was more like 11 o'clock.
Any other meals that you can pick out that were particularly good?
Not good, interesting. Was eating the widgety grub and the cockroach in Thailand. Literally, when we got in the border of Thailand and we needed something to eat, we ordered some widgety grubs and whatnot. That were a weird experience, I must say. But I don't mind trying new things personally. So it had a crunch, it had a bit of a weird thing, but wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I respect you for doing that. I'm not sure I would have been brave enough.
I watch how my celebrity get me out of here, and I think they're eating things the easiest.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't do like trapped under doors and whatnot, but the eating challenges, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I wanted to pick out a moment. When you went to that bus station, I think it was, in Thailand, and you were negotiating with the guy and you said, can we get our tickets for £21? Was it 21?
Yes.
Yeah, rather than 25. And you cut to your dad and he said, oh, if we can save ourselves £1, we can eat tonight. Was it really that bad, or was that dramatized for TV?
No. It was exactly like that. Like, for some days, like there would be some days where we wouldn't eat because we just cannot afford to.
Wow.
Sort of thing. And we'd need to go work because they won't guarantee that we'd go work, sort of thing. But like some days we'd have some bread for the day, where other days we'd eat really, really well. You know what I mean? So it would mix and match, but there was definitely times where hunger came in a lot. And the worst thing was, like, when we'd go to a restaurant, we'd have to order the cheapest thing on the menu, which was the hardest thing for me, because it was just like, we weren't eating much and we're traveling so much and we're seeing all this amazing food, beautiful food, which I want to try everything. I'm only trying like the bread or the chips or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's not really, you know what I mean, like how you'd actually experience it.
Yeah, well, at least you weren't like Sam in Series 2, but when he went off and kind of was spending loads of money on the spaghetti and all these Western foods, absolutely loved it. But then he didn't even get to the end. He loved it. So you did the right thing, you'd say.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it was hard at times. That was one of the hardest things, was the hunger and the eating and stuff.
Was it about 10 days between each checkpoint then?
It depends. So like most of the time it would be on a Sunday. So we'd get there, it'd be like every week, every Sunday, we'd get to the checkpoint.
Okay.
The Caspian Sea one, when we were held up for 5 days, that like took 2 weeks. So that was a really, really long week. And like when we made it first, we were just so tired. We just wanted to chill out, and we needed that the most.
And moving on to the accommodation now, how hard was it to adjust to the cheap hostels? Because you stayed in some pretty rough places.
Yes, we did. I wouldn't say it's that bad. I'd say the worst place we stayed was the flower market, the Chinese flower market, definitely.
That was so bad.
Because there was literally poo stains on the shower curtain, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was very explicit. There were pubic hairs on the floor. It was not a nice experience. That was the worst place we've stayed, definitely. And that was just, since then, I don't think I can get worse than that, so I'll probably stay anywhere at the moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, once you stay at a place like that, it's like there's not really much worse you can stay.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah.
We've mentioned that you'd go back to Koh Rong. You want to go back to Thailand. I'm sure you want to go back to pretty much everywhere from the entire race.
Yes, pretty much.
But which place that we've not spoken about would you like to go back to most?
Budapest.
Yeah.
I've wrote it. I was disrespectful to Budapest. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have done. I didn't experience it properly. I was ratty and moody. And like I say, with the first week, I didn't really know what I signed up for. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't myself in Budapest. So that's one place I really, really want to go back and visit. Like Natalie and Shamima went there in the year it was on TV. So it was on TV in March. And I think they went in August, Natalie and Shamima. And they said they were getting recognised everywhere from the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so apparently it was really big over there. So I kind of want to go back over there and like apologise sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like experience it properly, if you know what I mean. Because I feel like I could be one of the most hated people in Budapest.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that. So I just want to, experience it properly and give my personal opinion.
Yeah, you'll absolutely love Budapest. I've been there once before, and there are all these ruined bars. You mentioned that you like drinking beers. There's these amazing bars where they're all kind of derelict buildings. They've been turned into bars with each of their individual quirks. So yeah, you'll absolutely love it. I'll have to ping you over some stuff that I did when I went there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely looking at going there soon.
Yeah, nice. And is there a place that you would never go back to?
Place I'd never go back to. That art gallery in Turkey.
Yeah.
I won't lie, Ankara. It was just a city. It was like, I think it's the capital of Turkey, Ankara. It was just manic. There was so much cars and stuff. It was said like the week before we got there were a big terrorist attack sort of thing, and it was just like, it was just a scary experience just being in that big city. And there were just loads of people about, and it was just like, it felt like it was overpopulated.
And of course, you don't want to meet that bloke again.
Yeah, exactly. That art gallery was not the best.
And is there a place that means the most to you from the race?
It's probably Singapore. Just the fact that we made it, or Greenwich, the way we set off. Yeah. Like the start or finish has to be one of them places which means something for me. The hotel with the boat, like where we ended it, it's just iconic. And then also where we started. Yeah, from when we started as well, Greenwich Royal Navy College, and it's an iconic place. So a lot of big movies and stuff are filmed there, you know what I mean? And you see it and you're like, well, I actually started the race off there, sort of thing. So it's definitely got to be one of them.
Nice. And that, just touching on that time in Marina Bay Sands Hotel, what was it like after the race? What did you get up to? Was there a party?
So we got there the day before Natalie and Shamima and Josh and Felix, but unfortunately, only the winners got to stay in that hotel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the rest of us got shipped off to this like little crappy sort of hotel sort of thing. It wasn't anything.
It wasn't like exciting. The Chinese flower market.
No, it wasn't anything exciting. It was like a Premier Inn in England sort of thing, something basic. So we were in there, and then obviously the next day, then Natalie and Shamima, Josh and Felix have come, and then that night we've had a party, a big party with all the camera crew, and we've hired out this sort of place. Yeah, knowing me, I got a bit too drunk. I missed my flight, and me and my dad were the last two people in Singapore. All the camera crew left, everybody left, because the flight was at like 4 a.m, 5 a.m.
Really? After the party?
Yeah. And I got so drunk, I was not responsive. Like, I ended up having to pay for another room for the hotel, and then we didn't even stay in for the room for the hotel for that night either. We ended up getting a plane to Helsinki and then to Manchester, but it worked better for us because everyone flew to London, where we flew to Manchester, and obviously we were coming home. worked out better for us.
Yeah, nice. That's a bit mad, doesn't it? You have a party, obviously you're gonna have a few drinks.
Yeah.
And then booking a flight at 4 a.m. You probably have to leave the hotel at midnight.
That's exactly it. And I were a bit too drunk by that moment. So, you know what I mean? We made it in Singapore and I was just thinking, we've actually made it. So I've never been that drunk in my life. But yeah, I'm very, very drunk.
I don't blame you, especially if you weren't drinking for 50 days. It probably hit you like a brick wall.
It definitely did. It definitely did. Just the fact that it was just the settlement of just making it, not having to do it again, just not having to go anywhere. It just, I got a bit too drunk.
Amazing. And then the final question, your dream bucket list destination?
It's Bali for me. It's one of them places which always stands out for me. And this is why if I go to Bali, I will definitely be going to Koh Rong on the way, sort of thing. Maybe like take a break on the way or on the way back. That's how I'd like to do it. But Bali for me is, I see a lot of YouTube videos of vlogs and stuff of how it actually looks like. It just looks amazing for me. Like a monkey forest. I love monkeys. And just like the whole vibe, it feels like it's a proper chilled out sort of place. It's not a big commercial sort of place, if that makes sense. It just feels a lot of zen and a lot of chilled out, like just a lot of chilled out vibes. So I definitely want to visit Bali. And Japan.
Japan as well, nice.
I've been told Japan's one of the best countries to ever visit, so I got to visit Japan.
Brilliant. So your dream trip to Bali, you're going to combine it with Cambodia. Surely you should just turn this into an epic backpacking trip and vlog it all.
I probably should do, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
And then go to Japan as well after, why not?
Yeah, nice. Well, Alex, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been amazing talking to you, catching up. If people want to find your YouTube channel, it's just searching Alex Speck-Zolte on YouTube. That'll come up surely.
Thank you for having me, honestly. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it a lot.
No, thank you for your time, man.